All right, so in this tutorial, we're just going to go over how you can use GTA utility to create basically a streaming add-on that you can just stream, and that's going to add-on clothing rather than replacement clothing. This means that you're going to keep everything original, and you're just going to kind of tag new clothing pieces onto that rather than replacing things. It's fairly straightforward. The only downside is, as per usual, you need to buy the $15 pledge on Patreon for FiveM to be able to stream clothing changes. So, first things first, I'm going to leave a link to this tutorial that is posted on the FiveM forum. I'm basically just doing a video tutorial on this because he has it pretty much explained in this one, but some people find it easier with a video tutorial. So, like it says in the first requirement, that you need a $15, not 50, $15 pledge on Patreon. The next thing you're gonna need is GTA util or utility. So, if we click on this one, it's gonna take us to the GitHub page, where it's gonna just take the latest release. Just download that. We're gonna just click back. We're gonna open this. It's gonna give you 4 files. So as per usual, I'm gonna create a new folder. I'm gonna call this GTA util. I am just creating it on my desktop because that's easier for me. Take the 4 files and drag them into the newly created folder. All right, that's pretty straightforward. Now we go back, scroll a bit down. There's creating the project directory. So I'm going to select all of this, right click, copy. Then you're going to go down into start, and then you're either going to type CMD, open up your command prompt, or in my case, I'm using terminal, basically the same. And we're going to, first of all, we need to go into the folder. So we're going to copy the path, right click, copy. And then in command prompt, we're going to type cd space, and then you're going to paste the directory. You can now see that it's C users Toby desktop GTA util. Now we go back and we select this one again. Right click, copy. And then we're just going to paste that into here. So basically, what this is doing is that it's creating the output folder. It's going to be called project, and we're targeting MP-M freemode 01, MP-F freemode 01. So male and female. If you want the project folder to be called something else, you can type it over here. So in this case, as per usual, call this tutorial. And just click OK. GTA V folder. You're going to find that. Usually, so in my case, it's installed on Steam. So that's going to be Grand Theft Auto V. If it's somewhere else for you, well, just the same thing. Basically, just copy paste the directory where the GTA5.exe is located. Paste that in here. Click on OK. It's going to load the cache, DLC list, file trees, everything. If this does not work, you have to go in and you have to verify your GTA. The same goes if you're using the Rockstar launcher. You have to go in and verify. Sometimes it doesn't work. And it's either because you have a broken DLC, you have broken folders, you have broken something. Just verify it, make sure it repairs itself, and then try again. So you can see that we have all the different things here. So we're going to go back into what they call it, GTA utility. You can see we have the tutorial folder. It's going to have these 4 folders and these 2 files. So what we want to do is go to GTA 5 mods. I'm going to go to player. This is the same case. I'm going to be making a tutorial on how you do custom clothing. And that's going to be basically the same way you do, streaming that content. So we want to find what we want. So let's see. Just gonna find something. That we want to use as an add-on. Jesus. Alright, we can just type free mode. That's gonna give us a pretty decent overview. Obviously, it's also gonna give us all the crap. So, short dress for females. That seems like an okay one, I guess. Then we're gonna download this one, and we're gonna find one other one. We're gonna find something for male. So we can take this Brucey tracksuit. This one is pretty decent. We're gonna take that one as well. Obviously, credit goes to the people who made this, and special credit to GIMS, who is the one that made GTA Utility. So I'll be sure to show him some love. So now we have these two zip files. So we're gonna start with the Brucey one. So you can see we have feet, we have JBIP, we have lower. So feet is obviously gonna be the shoes. JBIP is the upper jacket. Lower is gonna be the pants. So this was for males. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go in here. We're gonna go to MP_M freemode 01. M being for male. We're gonna go to components. We're gonna go to feet. We're gonna take these two, drag them in here. Since we have nothing in here right now, we're gonna take the YDD and we're gonna call the YDD 0. We're gonna right click, create a new folder and call that 0. Because this folder is tied to this model. And then we're gonna take the YTD, which is the texture, I'm gonna put that into the folder. Since we have no other textures, only this one is gonna be 0. We're gonna go back, gonna go into JBIP. We're gonna do the exact same thing. Nope, I don't wanna open it. So 0, new folder, 0, drag this in here and call that 0. And for the last one, lower, just gonna create the folder, take this, call that 0, drag that one in there, and call that 0. So, just to show an example, if we go back into our JBIP, let's say we downloaded something else that is using a JBIP slot. You just have to drag it in here. We're gonna call the next model for 1. Gonna create a new folder, call that 1 because that is tied to that model, and take the texture, put that into that folder. The texture is still gonna be called 0 because that is the texture starting. So if you have more textures, they're obviously gonna be called 1, 2, 3, 4, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. But it's still just starting from 0. So we're gonna go back to tutorial, gonna go into MP freemode, components, and we're gonna go into our other zip folder. Jesus Christ. All right. In this case, we have 2 JBIPs. We're gonna go into JBIP. Gonna drag and drop these. And you can see in this case, there is a JBIP 003U and a JBIP 003U1. The 1 is usually where there's a part missing. But because this is an add-on, you want to rename this still to 1. But since we're lacking the textures, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just create 2 folders. Take these, I'm just gonna Control X to cut. Go into the first one. Rename these 0, 1, 2. Gonna select all of them and copy them. So obviously right click, copy, and go into the other folder and just paste that in there. Now we have a dress and we have the full suit. So we're gonna go back in to the tutorial. I'm gonna scroll down and we're gonna find this one. So since we made a few changes, we want to make some changes to this one as well. I'm going to open up my notepad just so it's easier to see. I'm going to paste this one in. So the input is not project. In my case, the input is tutorial. So that one is going to have to be changed. Also, reserve. In my opinion, you might as well just set these to 0. Because what this basically does, it's creating 200 slots of items for each item slot. This is good in if you don't want IDs to move around, but it's also going to create 200 empty slots with nothing in them. So I suggest you just put this to 0, and whenever you make an update, either you tell people or you just go with it. Basically, everything after the add-on is going to move one ID. So if somebody were to use a jacket ID 5, or that doesn't, jacket ID 50. If we added 5 more jackets, that ID is going to move 5 slots, so it's going to be ID 55. So if they were using that jacket on 50, whatever was ID 45 that is now being moved to 5 IDs is going to be in that slot. So their outfits are going to be a bit messed up, but well, set the price of items to 0 for a week and let people redo their outfits or something. So we're just going to copy paste this. So copy. I'm going to go back into our command prompt or CMD. Paste this command line, which is not letting me. There we go. And hit output. Output, we might want to rename to something else. Again, you don't have to. You can call it build, but we're going to call it tutorial _ stream. Hit OK. And there we go. So if we close or minimize this, we go back in now to our tutorial folder. Oh, never mind, to GTA util. See, we now have 2 folders. We have tutorial, which is the one where we add our clothing items. And we have the tutorial _ streaming, which will be the one we use to stream into FiveM. You can see it already has a resource.lua and has the JSONs. And inside this, it has the things we are now going to stream. It renames everything to the correct thing. So you basically have to do nothing. So just going to take this folder. We're going to copy it. And as per usual, we're going to find our server. Go into FX server master, resources, whatever. And we're just going to paste that into here. Going to find or just copy the name. Go back into our server config, edit with notepad. And then we're going to start tutorial _ streaming. In my case, I already have one, so I'm just going to disable that one. Let's see. Where is it? Jesus, I can't find my... Oh, I put it all the way at the top. So I'm just going to comment this one out and save our server.config. I'm going to start up the server. Your loading time might increase depending on how many different pieces of clothing you have. So just keep that in mind. And again, like I told you, it's not going to work if you don't have the $15 pledge. It's just not going to show up. And there's no way around it. So I'm going to launch our FiveM. Gonna join our local host. So in most cases, everything that you add is usually going to be around slot number 16 and above. So just whenever you have to test something, just go to Jacket or JBit, and then go to 15, 16, or 17, and you can find it around that place usually. All right. We're loading in. Oh, there we go. So I'm gonna go to player skins, players, and we're gonna get MP mail. Gonna go to modify skins. Then we're gonna go to, first of all, we're gonna disable our shirt. And then we're gonna go to shirt jacket. And we can go to 16. You can see this is the one we downloaded. Then we are gonna go to legs. Gonna go to 16. Then we're gonna go to shoes. And we're gonna go to 16. This is not always the case for everything, just keep that in mind, but for most things it's how it's, you know, it's where they usually place it. So that's pretty easy. Let's go and check the players. MP female. Go to modify skin textures. Just disable shirt. There. And then we're going to go to shirts and jackets. And go to 16. And yeah, so the Evo version doesn't really have any major changes to it, it seems. So you can probably delete that one, but just, yeah. So that's pretty straightforward. It's fairly easy. You just drag and drop, rename files, compile them, put them into your streaming folder, and you're done. No, you don't have to modify any files. It basically does that for you. So again, major fucking props to this guy. Make sure you leave a comment on this topic that you that the tool is just, you know, top tier. But yeah, that's pretty straightforward. You can download whatever the fuck you want, rename it, and stream it. You don't have to make anything, like any major modifications. But yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.